Hi, I'm Little John,
And I'm John.
and together we're Papa and Son Garage. Alright guys, we're getting going on the block here. We're going to start by just going ahead and wiping down the surfaces that we need to get cleaned off. While building an engine, you want to be as clean as absolutely possible. Any particles that can get into your bearings creates embedment. Embedment means that it will scar into the bearing. It will create an issue with the bearing, scar into it, and then you'll have oil clearance issues and bearing getting chewed up and eventually causing failure to the crank, to the rods, to everything. If you've heard the term rod knock or through a rod, it means that rod bearing got all chewed up, eventually spit the bearing out, and engine eventually locked up or something of that nature, and then it threw the rod through the block, put a big old hole in the block, and then left you walking. So we go through, we do a dry wipe on everything and clean it all up well. Come back after it, spray a little brake clean on a rag. As far as the rags go, pick a, while trying to wipe off some of these surfaces, pick a rag that's not going to leave a lot of lint behind and create an issue for you there. So spray brake clean on my rag and go through, back through it, wipe it all down again. Now these are just a factory replacement bearing. We've had pretty good luck with using these. There's a lot of kits out there on the market. You can get some performance race bearings that are real durable, good quality stuff, and that works. If you want to spend the extra money, it's a good way to go. We kept it at a budget for him because he's 15-year-old doing extra work on the side with me, and I'm trying to make bucks here and there and work the summertime job he saved up a bunch of money on, and now he's aching for summer again so he can get back to his summer job again. Always take a good clean part of your rag, wipe off these bearings good before you install them. Okay, now I've got them all established and in place. Start locking them in. Just want to push them down, make them nice and flush. Okay, bearing shell's all in place. I'll go through one more time. Do a light wipe. Go ahead. While assembling an engine, make sure you get yourself some good good quality assembly lube. And these back shells I put on a little heavy so I can get along the thrust side of the bearing as well. There we go. So I'll take it all around. Make sure that bearing's coated all over the place. Okay, the block side's ready. Always keep an oil can, fresh oil in it. I'll explain that as I go. Where's the assembly lube, dude? Right there. Let's go ahead and put a light coat on your rods. Nice and thick and slimy. Okay, so you got to look at the rods close and inspect. It's important to pay attention to this when you take something apart. Not everything's marked very well. So some rods actually have an F for front, or they have a dot or some sort of indicator that shows your front. This particular rod, if you look at the bearing cap, you can see a difference on the bearing cap, and that's the front of the rod. Front meaning facing the front of the engine. Okay, so the purpose of the oil, you always want to put a little bit of lube on your threads. And then on the flange where the bolt meets the surface, it gives for smooth and proper torque. I always take and kind of roll the bolt around, make sure the oil's all over the threads. Okay, keep in mind I'm just barely running these in. I'm not even letting the gun impact them. Snap it in. Okay, front of the rod. Looks like my bearing slipped out on me. Okay, bearing's in place. Okay, lube the bolts, threads. And flanges. Nope, that's the main.
Didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Learning has its purposes, guys. Oh, did you remember to wipe off the bearings?
Yeah? Nope. Nope.
It'll be alright. Just wipe off that one. You already wiped the rod.
Oh, no.
That's one way to do it. That's alright. I'll just squeeze it out. So be careful because you're leaving that on it. Right there.
Just make no mess, that's what I'm doing.
Sticky gooey. Yep. There you go. Yep. Always wiping your hands. Make sure they're clean as well. Let's see what shit rags. Okay, now we're ready to throw this in the block.